The originally appointed New York Governor Kathy Hochul has a whole new list of gun laws for 2026. COMMIE MAMDANI isn't wasting any time to ruin New York City. And the political left is supporting a violent left-wing protester. This is The Loaded Mic, and I'm Dan Wast. Kathy Hochul and her New York State legislature is at it again with a handful of new bills that would violate the constitutional rights of all New Yorkers. But what's new? Any chance this tyrant gets to take the guns from her political opposition, she'll do it. So here's a list of 5 gun bills to keep your eye on. S399 is a ban on Glock handguns in the state of New York. In other words, if Kathy Hochul gets her way, Glock will no longer be able to sell their products in the state of New York. Why? Because someone was able to take a Glock, make some modifications, and turn it from semi-automatic to automatic. But is this going to stop the criminals from possessing Glocks? No, this will prevent law-abiding citizens from purchasing Glocks. And that's exactly the idea here. This is exactly what Kathy Hochul wants to do. It's about disarming as many lawful gun owners as possible and running Glock out of New York. Next is S4277. It would be a ban on 50 caliber rifles, but I don't think this will stop with 50 calibers. This would likely extend to many other caliber rifles. This would be just the start. So this bill would also turn you into a criminal if you fail to register your existing 50 caliber rifle. It seems Kathy Hochul takes a lot from New Jersey. There was a time the governor of New Jersey decided he wanted to ban 50 caliber firearms because, as he said, people could take down helicopters with them. I don't remember a lot of citizens taking helicopters down in New Jersey, but that was their excuse. Kathy Hochul following in the same footsteps. Next is S5974. This bill would require New York gun owners to purchase a $1 million civil liability insurance policy. If you don't, you won't be able to apply for a pistol permit or buy a long gun. Hochul's doing this because she knows this insurance doesn't even exist in the state of New York. The only company that would insure gun owners was run out of the state by the previous New York governor, Cuomo. There are no options for this. This bill appears to be nothing more than a trap. And next is S362. It's a bill that would require a 10-day mandatory waiting period before purchasing a firearm. Now, the excuse blue state governors use when they try to pass laws like this is that they want you to have a cooling down period before you purchase a firearm. They've created a narrative that people angrily go buy a gun and immediately go out and kill people in the heat of anger. Well, this simply isn't true. But that's their excuse, and that's how they justify these types of laws. And by the way, the bad guys are not waiting 10 days. The bad guys aren't even going to the gun shop. These laws do not apply to killers because if you're willing to kill, you're certainly not going to be willing to wait 10 days to do it. The last one is A360. Now, this would require mental health evaluations before you can purchase a firearm or apply for a pistol permit in the state of New York. Of course, the mental health examiners would be some purple-haired anti-gun leftist working for the State Department who definitely doesn't want you to have a gun. Yes, the weirdo who doesn't know the difference between man and a woman will be deciding if you are mentally fit. So we're going to talk about this and many other things with his New Year's resolution is to have pleasant interactions with people on social media. John Chiara.
True.
I couldn't even get through that one without laughing.
I'm working hard on myself.
I can't even get past laugh. And in 2026, as long as he doesn't hurt anyone, we're pretty much happy. Anthony Diso. All right. So we got a lot to talk about today, guys. Where do you want to start?
Just shut the hell up.
Kathy's a scumbag.
Poor Kathy.
So let's talk about the gun bills. We got the Glock ban, S399. We got the 50 caliber ban. We got the bill that would require $1 million insurance to carry a gun. We got the S362 that would require a 10-day waiting period. And we've got A360, which would require mental health evaluations before you can purchase a firearm.
Which none of them are going to they're going to go to the lawsuit. You can't tell somebody they have to go take a mental health. then every politician needs a mental health, because obviously she's crazy.
Obviously.
You ever see her sitting on TV? She can't even move her goddamn face because it's so full of Botox. But she's just like a chipmunk.
Who's going to be evaluating the people? Who's going to be determining?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't work. work.
I think it should be Anthony evaluating.
I would smack every blue-haired freak that came in there. I don't know how she gets away with this.
Yeah, well, what happens is,
Like I've always said, who started it and let it get to this point? Who let the permit system start? That person needs to be punched in the face. Because if we read the Constitution,
He needs a knuckle sandwich.
shall not be infringed. That's it. But we got liberal douche judges. We got all these left-wing nut jobs that say, well, we can start a permit system and no one's going to care. And here we are.
because they know that if they sign this stuff into law, it's going to take, like the Bruin case, 7 years
exactly.
to fight it in court. And then they can just, when they get defeated, they just start new laws or sign new law. Go ahead, John.
Oh, I agree.
Shouldn't
They
even
know
be
how to
allowed.
play the game,
Yeah.
Shouldn't even be allowed.
I agree.
Well, the thing is, it's clearly violation. Time after time after time, the courts say, okay, as a violation of the Constitution. No, the law doesn't stand. So they clearly violate the Constitution every time they turn around, but there's no punishment for them.
Right.
That's the
We've
problem.
let it go along too far. And now that's so stretched, they do whatever the hell they want.
Well, the only punishment is that they don't get reelected, but they still get reelected because the overall anti-gun narrative has convinced all their voters that they're doing the right thing,
Absolutely. Because, as we all know, gun violence is the biggest killer of children.
which
in the
is
United
false.
States.
It's so false. More kids die in car accidents. More kids drown. More kids die of medical malpractice,
Porcupine
illness.
stings.
Yeah, I don't know how they can justify that. That's the leading cause of death
because
in
they're
children.
left-leaning Pfizer's.
I don't care. You can say retard if you want. I
think-
really don't care.
I think they're looking at it as the leading cause of intentional killing as opposed to like other things that can happen to kids.
But we're not intentionally killing people.
No, exactly. But exactly. Well, their criminals are intentionally killing people because they're criminals, but they don't want to deal with that. They just want to deal with the outcome that, oh, look, these guns shoot these kids, therefore we should do something, which they don't even have anything they're going to do that's going to make any difference anyway. What are you going to do? Take everybody's guns away?
Well, when they say kids, what are you envisioning? The child. They say child or children, right?
It's probably anybody under 18, right?
It's
or 21
a lot.
or
Some studies are under 21, and even if it is under 18, the prime age of gang members is like 16 through 19 or something like that. So they conveniently, and this is the one thing that the left will never admit to, but they conveniently use gang-related killings. That's why any number of is so high. If you actually talked about child death, like accidental deaths and things like that, it's a tiny, tiny number. They need the gang violence to justify that argument.
Right. And they know they can't fix the gang violence because that would be racist.
I don't think they want to. I think they use the gang violence to keep people vulnerable, keep people in their homes controllable, and to use the gang violence for more justification for gun laws.
Well, that's pretty sinister, huh? That's bad.
Well, wouldn't they have done something different by now if it wasn't the case?
You would think. You think that after all those years of gun-free zones that they would learn that, hey, where are kids getting shot? Oh, over here in these gun-free zones.
Yeah.
Well, they're still good because that's a good idea.
Or in the gang areas.
In the gang area.
We tell them this all the time, but they don't listen. I mean, they know. They understand. They know exactly what they're doing.
Scumbags. Scumbaggetry at the highest level.
That is a high level of scumbaggetry. $1 million civil liability insurance policy.
No insurance company is going to do that. And I don't even think that's legal.
All right. So here's the thing with this. If you go and you search some of the big companies who provide USCCA and some of the other companies, they don't insure New Yorkers. There's like 2 states I think USCCA won't insure, and New York is one of them. So what Cuomo did, I don't know all the details on this, but he tried to create this before. And he said, but you have to use our insurance company. I guess he ran the one company out of town. There's one company that was going to do it, the only company that would do it. Was it Lloyd's?
That wouldn't have lasted long anyway.
What is that insurance company?
Lloyd's of London.
Lloyd's
is the
of
one
London.
that you can insure anything.
I think that was the one,
You
but
can insure his chopsticks with that.
for some reason they won't do it in New York State. And Cuomo knew that, and Hochul knows that too. That's why she'd love to pass this, because what do you do then? Like, let's say, hypothetically, you had to have insurance first, and you go to get your pistol permit. What are they going to say? Well, let's see your insurance policy before we can even proceed, right? I can't get insurance in New York. Oh, then what happens? It's like,
That's a total violation of your Second Amendment.
well, that's just it.
I mean, that's a huge. That's basically scamming. It's basically permanent that you're never going to get your permit.
It
It's
makes
a trap.
illegal to
It's
get
a trap. That's what I mean. The Supreme Court.
It takes a long time to get to the Supreme Court through all the appeals and stuff.
But why? They need to start doing their job and telling her, listen, we're done.
They do. They did with Bruin. She defied it.
Bruin made it worse, I think. I think it made her worse.
Because she got defeated in Bruin,
Right.
and then she came out with the concealed carry improvement.
Now
Act.
she just keeps doing it. And she's doing it to the point to where
because
if he
there's
wants
no
to get a permit, he
punishment.
can't.
There's no punishment. She doesn't get. There's no punishment to her. There's no financial punishment. There's no legal punishment.
That's what I mean. Why aren't they ruling that, listen, we're done. Do not send anything here again. That's it.
Well, they don't want to take Second Amendment cases.
They
most of the
shouldn't
time.
be, because it shouldn't be an issue.
Right.
Well,
That's the problem. We got a bunch of weak ass bitches on the Supreme Court who won't stand up for this. If I was on the Supreme Court, I would come to New York myself in my robe and say, listen,
his his bathrobe.
I'd be like, send another goddamn thing my way. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to jail. The Second Amendment is untouchable. And that's how it should be. But we don't have a Supreme Court like that. They're a bunch of old fossils who are sitting there rotting away. They're useless.
I agree with
They're
you.
useless.
Well, Judge Clarence Thomas was not useless. I think with that Bruin case, he created the new precedent, which was the historical tradition precedent in his what do you call that? The review or the his summary. I can't think of the word of what it was, but he writes that gun laws must meet historical tradition, meaning back at the time of our founding, if there was no gun law similar to this, then it's invalid.
Then all of her stuff doesn't matter then. But there was no insurance policy
Look at it
back
from
then.
from Kathy Hochul's communist perspective. Okay, she knows she's going against the Constitution.
Right.
She knows she's totally violated. She knows there's not going to be any consequence for her. So what she does is she just has the legislature create these laws. She signs them into law, knowing that they're going to take 7 to 10 years in court. And she just keeps doing this because she's just trying to make it difficult for the people who didn't vote for her and her political opposition, frankly. Because now with this insurance thing, let's just say this thing goes through. And there's a time period where the law's in place. What are the gun dealers going to do? The gun shops, they're going to say, we can't do anything. Just like with the, I think there was a time lapse with the insurance, the ammo background checks and stuff like that. The gun dealers will go, we can't sell.
Can't sell.
They can go down for a month, 2 months, a year. They can go just have to shut their doors down because they can't sell because nobody can get insurance to come in to buy. So what do? They resort to selling fishing poles and stuff like that. It's archery
It's
stuff.
messed up.
Until somebody like Gun Owners of America takes them to court and fights it and gets a pause, and they can go.
Here's what the Supreme Court should do.
All right.
You bring a case to us with the Second Amendment and you lose your case, it's $250 million fine for the state. See how quick it stops.
Well,
Because 5 of those should be $1 billion in debt.
Well, unfortunately, our founding fathers never wrote stuff like that into the Constitution.
But we can
They
still,
never thought it was going to happen.
but the Supreme Court can still
Nobody would
put the
ever do
rule in.
this.
They can say, listen, I'm going to fine you. Every time you lose a case, it's $250 million.
Well, I'm not sure how that would work. But
The money goes to the government. It goes to fix bridges and stuff.
the idea of the Supreme Court is to not set up the rules, but to determine to
They interpret the law.
interpret the rules, interpret the law. The Supreme Court's job is not to
But there's
create
no consequences for
Well,
her.
because they expect people to follow what they say.
Well, that's a congressional-
the whole idea. It's the Supreme Court. You're supposed to do what we say. We're the final
But they're not
arbiter.
doing what they
Right.
say.
I agree.
We're not even following the Constitution at this point.
No, I know.
So how are we? The ruling means nothing because we're still screwed. If we're waiting 7 years to get an insurance policy thing off them, then we're screwed.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have a lot of people breaking the law.
I mean, we don't have to get insurance policy because it doesn't affect us because we're grandfathered. We don't have to. It's new people like him trying to go and get
For
a
what,
gun.
insurance?
Yeah, we wouldn't have to get it.
Well, I don't know. The way it was written,
She can
right?
purchasing. She can't make us get a gun. New
the
permittees.
bill would require New York gun owners to purchase a $1 million civil liability insurance policy. New York gun owners. If you don't, you won't be able to apply for a pistol permit or buy a long gun.
So we don't need it for our pistol because we already have them. It's guys like him who try to go and get it.
Well, it says you won't be able to apply for a pistol permit. Now, in New York, you have is it a 3-year or a 5-year renewal?
3.
So what happens when that comes up?
It's just a renewal. It's just basically them seeing that you're
Well, wouldn't they make this part of it? Part of the renewal?
then
I don't know. Maybe.
there's going to be
Technically, your permit expired.
Hopefully, we don't have to find out.
doesn't expire. It's just a renewal. Her telling you just keeping track of you is what it is.
The question is, I'd have to go back. I'd have to go back in and read further into
If
that.
that's the case, then we're all screwed.
That's what I'm saying. We could be
done.
all screwed. But
We're done. We'll have to hand our guns in our permit and we're done.
so I bet you're not going to vote for her again, are you?
I'll leave the state, Dan. If that passes and I have to, I'm gone. I'm leaving. I'm
Where are you
moving-
going?
I'm moving to a state that constitutional carry. I'm leaving. I'm not staying here.
All year
We're
round.
absolutely not staying here.
I already want to move.
But I'm saying if
I
that
already
happens, you're definitely
Well,
moving,
that's
right?
something I would definitely think about.
Exactly.
I would have to give that some serious thought. But where would you go?
I'd go to a state that allows constitutional carry or doesn't have laws like this. No other state has laws like this.
I like the Carolinas. I like Tennessee.
I would go down
I
south.
love Texas.
I mean, I can go to Vermont, dude. It's half hour away. Constitutional carry.
Yeah, but then you got to hang out with the freaking granola eating, greasy haired freaking
No.
hippies up there.
still
Get a
get the
house in
carry.
the mountain.
There's no rules over there.
The tree huggers are up. All the liberal
There's
tree
no
huggers.
permit. You can carry wherever you want there. If she
right.
does that, this state's going to clear out.
Well,
It's
it's
already
not gonna be
clearing
good.
out. I mean, they're already losing.
I mean, how many gun owners are in New York?
good question. I have to look up. Let's see if we can figure that one out.
Yeah, that wouldn't
How many
fly.
gun? It's hard to say how many gun owners. There's a lot of gun owners, but permit holders. I'm
Got to be over 1 million.
Gotta be.
It's. I think it was probably about 5%, maybe 5% permit carriers.
Well, 3 million people.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. Maybe was it less than that?
3 million people losing their right to have a gun. I don't think that's going to work out for the state. No one will come here. Useless liberals will come here. The state will fall apart.
Trying to destroy upstate.
Okay, so I was wrong. It says as of late 2023, the estimated number of concealed carry permit holders in New York State was around 440, about half a million.
440,000.
Well, that's just concealed carry, right? That's not.
Concealed
not
carry.
right.
Talk about
Rifles.
long guns. and
Bro,
stuff. You
well,
can't
that's
buy
your-
a long.
right.
How many hunters are there? Millions.
What Danny said? Oops. Okay, we'll edit that out.
picking your nose.
Picking my nose. There are about 440,000 concealed carry permit holders. That doesn't say anything about the rifles and shotguns.
Hunters alone.
Yeah.
So if you're not allowed to have a long rifle or a pistol, how's that going to work out for wildlife control? With you, we can't hunt. They'll make you get a permit to hunt.
There'll be
You already have a
turkeys and
license.
deer
Then
running wild in the
How are you going to
street.
hunt without a gun?
Crossbow.
Crossbow, spear.
So if you need insurance for a
Javelins.
long rifle and a pistol permit, you're screwed. All you can do is arch bow hunt. That's all you can do. Who's good with a bow? Good luck.
Slingshots.
So,
Hey, I know a lot of guys who really pride themselves on their bow hunting skills.
but I'm saying
That's
how
not
I
the
mean,
majority of hunters that are
Ted
actually.
Nugent.
Well,
The reason
Nugent's the
why
bow
we
hunter.
have hunters is to keep the deer population down. If you don't have people hunting deer, you're gonna have a serious
I
problem.
understand. I
But
agree.
This is what I'm talking about. We got idiots running this state.
Well, we have idiots voting for them.
Well, no, New York City.
some within our own families.
That's the thing. You have friends and family that actually vote for this stuff. But, we don't want to offend them at Thanksgiving by talking to them about this stuff. So here we are.
Well, luckily, all my family votes red. So
Speaking of
morons.
more morons, remember when Commie MAMDANI, what's Danny saying? No, we're not going to. Remember when Commie MAMDANI lied to all the stupid Democrat voters in New York City when he said he would make the bus fare free?
Yeah.
Well, 1 week after the liberals voted him into office, the bus fare actually went up to $3. Good job, losers.
Did he explain what that was supposed to be for?
We're going to get into that right after this, but let
Alrighty.
me tell you about Gun Owners of America. You want to know who's fighting for your gun rights? Gun Owners of America. GOA is the no compromise gun rights group, so I urge you to become a member at gunowners.org. What have they done? Well, GOA has secured a preliminary injunction against the ATF pistol brace rule. GOA members submitted a record 85,000 plus comments opposing the ATF's universal registration check rule. They helped enact permitless carry in Nebraska and Florida. GOA secured victories in California, Illinois, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Plus, they won 2 legal victories against the ATF's zero tolerance policy. And GOA fought to overturn Joe Biden's ban on funding hunter education, shooting sports, and archery in schools. So with the constant attacks on our Second Amendment, we often ask ourselves, what can I do about it? Well, this is what you can do. You can become a member at gunowners.org and help us save the Second Amendment. Commie MAMDANI promises all his New York City voters who loved him so much, they said, we got to get this guy in office. We'll do everything we can to get him in.
Got all the homeless vote.
Got the homeless vote.
Took all the shanties down. Now you can build a shack wherever you want in the city now. It's not illegal.
Central Park.
Central Park is going to be a homeless encampment.
One of the things he promised was free
Free
bus
bus
fare
fare.
for everybody. Well, actually, it went up to $3 now.
And they're all pissed off.
I
What do you
wonder-
mean?
I
I'm just
wonder if they're
laughing.
pissed off.
I'm like, it's just a start.
The MTA's latest rate hike went into effect on Sunday. There's a quote here. I just know it's going to add up, said Mayan Crampton, 23, who regularly commutes into Manhattan from his New Jersey home in Hoboken. I don't get paid enough for this. The hike is crazy. It says they're so concerned about people jumping the turnstile. If more were affordable and available to everyone, that wouldn't be an issue, Steele said. Anything in the past, she's been in positions where the fare increase certainly could have affected me. It's just so ridiculous that these people can still go ahead. They keep voting for
and
these.
they'll still vote for her.
Doesn't that annoy the hell out of you?
It's mental illness.
This person's from New Jersey, right? So they're not voting for him.
Well, that's in that case, yeah, that was a Jersey person, but
Imagine riding a bus every day or train every day. I don't take a bus from New Jersey to New York every day to go to work.
You're not paying. There's no way you're making enough money. Like a lot of people do travel from Jersey.
I couldn't imagine living in the city.
I would never live in the city. No, I couldn't.
I'd be punching people. I couldn't do it. Too many people. It's just
I don't know how people do it.
I have a friend if you need a place.
yeah.
Private parking, great views.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Any city, whether it's New York. I mean, I used to love New York City. We used to play in a band down
25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
there. Yeah, and it was great.
And you had a red state mayor run it, or, a guy who actually cleaned it up.
when Giuliani was mayor, it
It was
was great.
spotless. It was clean.
Now it's a hellhole.
Hell, I say.
What? Somebody just got stabbed to death yesterday in the Bronx. Walking down the street. And you know what Kathy Hochul said? Nothing.
At least it wasn't a ghost gun.
Then this woman gets on the camera. She goes, he just came back from Africa on a trip. I go, wow. And he comes home and he gets killed. I go, wow. Welcome to America, stupid. This is what happens.
This is what happens when we let stupid people vote.
And the guy was a 25-time felon.
The guy that stabbed?
I thought we were a 3 strikes and out type of state.
Yeah, how does that work?
Where did that go?
How does that even work? I mean, if people, you hear these stories about these people that have been arrested 20 times and they're walking around the street. There should be an island to send them to or something, right? Like, get them offshore or something. Greenland.
They were in Rikers, and Kathy Hochul let 191 of them out as soon as she was appointed
Do we
governor.
know how many of those have actually have recidivism who
I bet
committed
you can
crimes again?
look it up.
I don't know the exact statistics on those, but if they're in jail, they're there for a reason. Keep them there. But they have bail reform, early release. They have all these policies.
Well, look what
now.
she just did with the corrections officers when they were getting assaulted. She was downgrading the charges
Yeah.
to like misdemeanors.
Well, that's the thing. They'll say stuff like the libs will say, "Well, those people they were arrested under lower charges." That's because they reduced the charges in the first place.
Yeah, the January 6 people were arrested on misdemeanor trespassing too, and a lot of them ended up in prison. So how does that work?
So how does that
Nobody
work?
goes to prison for a misdemeanor.
Right.
No. And they were held there for 3-4 years. That's okay, though.
That's okay.
That's all right.
It's so confusing.
It's
I mean,
enough
if you're trying to make sense of it, it's just you get bombarded with this nonsense so much that it's like, I mean, a person who doesn't pay attention, because I don't pay attention to some things, and then I see something on the news, and I'm like, what? How is that even possible for that to happen in this country in 2025? It makes no sense. But we've gotten so far off the track on so much of this stuff that I don't know how you get back. Move, I guess, right?
Purge.
Somalia.
You could move. Yeah, you could stay and fight like a lot of people are doing. I know some conservatives in New York City, and they're fighting like crazy. Look, Curtis Slew was a perfect example. I mean, that guy had been there his whole life, and he fought for what was right. And of course, the liberals didn't vote for him because they don't want what's right. They want communism. They want comfort. Just like Commie MAMDANI says, we're going to replace rugged individualism with warm, what was the word? Collectivism?
Yeah, that's
That's like a direct line,
That's
right?
what-
Like, how much crap does that have to go through to even see if
Stalin and Hitler said those same words.
Yeah, well, that appeals to the people who don't want to work. It appeals to the people who want others to take care of them. The rugged individualist is the guy like guys like us who go out and make their way in the world and make things happen, create businesses, do products, services, whatever we do, and never rely on anybody else for.
Well, that's the way it always was. Though.
Well, it was.
I mean, it used to be even if just less than a century ago.
but
it
the
used to-
Democrat. I'm sorry to interrupt. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it was shameful to accept help from the government.
Yeah.
People didn't want help from the government.
But the Democrats have now created an entitlement through it started with the welfare system.
I agree.
Where you can say, we're going to give you all this free crap and you deserve it. You're entitled to this. It's an entitlement. How does that happen? So they believe it, and they believe that the people who work should support them. Look at these scumbags who on the scumbags who go to the grocery store and they say, I don't care. If my SNAP or whatever is canceled, I'm going to steal. Well, where did you get? How did you get?
They're just trying to feed their families.
How did you get so entitled?
Her 8 kids from 7 different daddies who went out for milk one day and never came back.
What are you trying to say, Anthony?
Danny, how much time we got? Okay, let's go to break. There's so much more to talk about. We'll be right back after this.
The Cali Key removes your AR from the definition of an assault weapon. It lets you keep your rifle with all its features, avoid registration hassles, and transport in hostile jurisdictions. The Cali Key also lets you hunt in jurisdictions like Pennsylvania and enhances long-range precision shooting. Cali Key's expert legal opinions empower informed decisions, and sales help grassroots Second Amendment organizations. Cali Key is your tool to keep and equip your AR, empower yourself, and defend your civil rights.
Our founding fathers saw them coming over 200 years away. That's why they wrote the Second Amendment. Join us in the fight to preserve your gun rights and stop unconstitutional gun control. Gun Owners of America is the country's only no-compromise gun rights organization. Not only do we inform and educate, but we bring the fight to court and win. Your God-given right to keep and bear arms is our top priority. Become a member today and help us take back America. Join us at gunowners.org. All right, so we're a little heated today on the show.
Yeah.
Because we're a little pissed off because America's being taken over by communists and leftists and anarchists and retardism and all sorts of weirdos.
Scumbaggery.
Douchebaggery.
Is that sexist?
So we might as well stay on the same line of topic here. And talk about New York City. I think it needs to be talked about because we're going to watch New York City spiral down the toilet.
And we're right here.
We're close, only two to 3 hours away.
Yeah, right. It's not like we're talking about L.A. or San Francisco or something.
Well, not only has New York City raised its bus fare now since the commie MAMDANI Islamist has become governor, the New York City residents get to enjoy the hideous sound of Muslims' call to prayer being blasted out through loudspeakers in the city. These are good times.
We have a video of that?
We have a video of that. Can we play that? Can you imagine waking up to that crap?
What? Here, let me tell you something. Who the hell is allowing that? A real New Yorker back 20 days would go and find that sound and beat the hell out of it. Yeah. There is a guy.
I think they're 50 caliber. Boom.
There is a guy who was going against the crowd. One guy going off on it, a real New Yorker.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. This should not be happening in our country.
It's supposed to be separation of church and state. What's that?
Ted Nugent said they should go to New York City and loud with speakers and blast out Wang Dang Sweet Poon Tang.
How are New Yorkers allowing that?
I was thinking Mad Dog would be a good song by, was that Anvil or something? What was that? Mad Dog? Who did Mad Dog? It was an early 80s metal band. Mad Dog. I think it
was it Kiss?
I think it was Anvil. Mad Dog. It wasn't Kiss. Mad Dog. Anvil? Was it Anvil? A lot of people won't know these. Yeah, Anvil, Mad Dog. I wish we had a clip for that. Maybe we'll put a little clip in post.
Yeah.
So let's imagine we put a clip in post right now. All right, so Mad Dog, can you imagine that song being played as soon as the Muslim call to prayer? You start playing Mad Dog or Wang Dang Sweet Poon Tang or Stranglehold or you name it.
Or some
Hell's Bells.
Or some rabbi, cantor singing stuff from a Jewish ceremony over them. And people would never put up with that. They would never put up with that.
The Jews have no authority anymore. They took all that away. You can abuse them all you want in New York now.
That's one thing I never understood. I don't understand why there's such a hatred for Jewish people. I have no problem with them.
You need to read some history, Dan.
Well, maybe I do. They're a small country, and they seem to be abused by everybody around them.
Always.
Well, now it's legal in New York. He took that law away.
Yeah. Well, he's an Islamist.
They voted for him.
It's unbelievable. I can't explain it. I wish I could. I wish I could understand the mindset of the leftist.
We need to go down as a show and go interview the silly Jewish people who voted for MAMDANI and now are listening to Islamic garbage over the speakers. Say, how does it feel to be a dumbass?
Especially if you're a Jew and you voted for that. That's just crazy. That's just absolutely crazy.
And then first day, we're going to take that law away. Now you can go and berate a Jew all you want.
Well, there's another thing that he's doing.
Oh, boy.
Another thing.
It's endless.
It really is endless. And it's gonna come to a head. He's gonna get wiped out somehow. It's not gonna work. This is America. You can't.
Well, first of all,
I truly believe he's not going to get away with this stuff for any length of time.
but he was sworn in on a Quran. It's illegitimate. You can't be sworn in on a Quran.
There has to be a point.
And it's in the library now.
Well, there has to be a point when the average American leftist comes to their sense. What am I talking about?
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about?
What are you, crazy?
I still have hope. I still hope for them. I still hope.
There's like 4.5 million immigrants in New York who voted for him. New York City is being taken over, and we're not seeing it.
Well, one thing that here's a headline from WABC Radio: New York City homeowners blocked from selling under Zorro Mandami, whatever the hell his name is.
His name is Zorro Mandummy.
Zorro. Homeowners and small landlords are facing what critics are calling a direct assault on private property rights after the New York City Council approved a sweeping new housing law that hands government-favored nonprofits unprecedented power over real estate sales. The measure establishes the so-called Community Opportunity to Purchase Act, COPA, a policy that forces certain property owners to give politically connected nonprofit groups the first right of refusal when selling multifamily buildings, even allowing them to match or override private offers. Supporters frame the law as anti-displacement, but opponents say it amounts to state-sanctioned interference in the free market designed to discourage private ownership while accelerating New York's shift toward government-controlled housing. Under COPA, landlords who want to sell their buildings must first navigate new bureaucratic approval process, giving designated nonprofits priority access to properties before buyers on the open market. Critics argue the policy will depress property values, delay sales, and punish small owners, many of them immigrants and multi-generational families. Go ahead.
Where are these nonprofit organizations getting their money from to buy these buildings in the first place?
Government.
That's all tax dollars, right?
That's a good question. While progressive activists celebrated outside City Hall, small property owners warned the law will drive even more landlords out of the city, further shrinking housing supply and worsening affordability, the opposite of what lawmakers claim to want. I can think of if we can let's take this for a minute and just look at this. Let's say
Make it personal, Dan.
let's make it personal because we can talk about that. Let's say Anthony has a apartment building and he wants to sell it to a family member. Let's say you want to sell it to your brother, whatever, for $1. I want to basically sell this apartment house to my brother for $1. No, sorry, can't do it. We're going to have these government nonprofit groups take a first stab at your
So they'll offer you $1.50
at your house, right? So you get $1.50. I'm not sure how that would work. I would assume they have to have market.
That should be totally illegal.
Yeah, I will sell my property to whoever I want forever. I'm not going to let government come in and tell me
Government run anything isn't going to work because they don't pay taxes. They make their money off taxpayers. This is how stupid this guy is. Most of their revenue is from tax-paying owners.
Part of the problem is he's trying to create a communist
Not going to work.
environment within a capitalist country.
Never going to work.
So pay for that, the capitalists.
Of course, subsidize everything, just like the Obamacare. That's why they're fighting so bad.
I love the people complaining about that. My rates went up. You voted for it.
Well,
It was built in. I didn't put it in there.
They did it to you.
we've been subsidizing that with taxpayer money because it never worked.
They blame Trump. I'm like, how are you blaming Trump when before Obama, healthcare was affordable, cheap? You didn't pay a $6,000 deductible. It was never a thing. Once you let big pharma in, you're done. And that's what Obama did. He was fining you for years. $1,500.
Let me get to one of our sponsors real quick, and then Anthony can go off again.
That's true.
This device, the Cali Key, removes your AR from the definition of an assault weapon. Did you know that when so-called assault weapon ban lists are created, they exclude manually operated bolt-action firearms? Just by dropping the Cali Key into your direct impingement AR in place of your semi-automatic BCG, you'll have a bolt-action rifle that falls outside the definition of assault weapon. You don't need to do anything else. So give the Cali Key a look, because with it, you could retain all your rifle's features, avoid registration complications, revive your black rifle sales as an FFL, regain the ability to do private party transfers, legally transport across hostile jurisdictions, hunt with your AR in areas like Pennsylvania, and enhance long-range precision and quiet or suppressed shooting. Cali Key has state-specific expert attorney opinions on its website and uses the profits. Some supports grassroots Second Amendment organizations with its sales. So Cali Key's mission is to empower customers and claw back our civil liberties. So go to CaliKey.com and use the discount code LOADED. CaliKey.com, discount code LOADED. All right. So there you go, Anthony.
Yep.
And we also have this, we need to talk about, everybody's been talking about, it's been talked about to death, but this left-wing protester, activist, or terrorist, if you want to call her that, you tried using her car to kill an ICE agent. Thank God the ICE agent survived. But we have I think we have a tweet from, who do we have that tweet from? Who is that? I know we saw something. Oh, yeah, okay, Dennis Michael Lynch. He says, Renee Good made a bad choice today. Her life is over because her radical ideology took over any sense of rational thinking. That's true. Good was reportedly passed a what?
A poet.
A poet.
Oh, there you go.
And she didn't know it.
Oh, I guess something else to tell you.
A poet and a mother of 3 children who grew up in Colorado Springs. She was married to a guy
who died in 2023.
Died in 23. She had apparently turned gay. Apparently, she just turned.
Such a long story.
She just turned gay after her husband died. What the hell? So her husband dies in 23, and then she just turns gay. How does this work, John? Explain the biology of all this.
It's a biological switch. There you go.
I think it's a political switch. But anyway,
I think she was brainwashed.
so she tried running the guy over and he shot her in the head.
I love the left wing retards. They're like, well, why was he standing in front of the car? Why didn't he just move? Because they were arresting her.
Yeah. Well, also,
was she protesting?
she was actively protesting.
Okay.
There was a woman who was talking about, she was out there like all day leading a lot of these protests and leading a lot of the violence that was occurring against the ICE agents. And you get the left-wingers going, oh, she was murdered.
She was scared. He had a mask on. She didn't know who was opening the door.
She, unfortunately, she got what she asked for. I mean, you try running somebody over, I'd shoot him too.
Well, if a federal agent with a gun is telling you to stop and you don't, what do you think is going to happen?
Doesn't make sense to me.
These are the same people that sit on the highway and block traffic and think that they're doing something important. All they're doing is pissing everybody off.
And then when they get hurt, the rest of them go crazy. Oh my God, how could they do that? You're standing in the road, dummy.
Well, then you got
dummy
Tim Waltz calling for people to get in the streets and go, you're inciting violence.
That's what they want.
Here's my thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Why isn't he being arrested?
Because I don't think Republicans have the guts to do it.
They're spineless jellyfish. Because you know damn well if a Democrat was president and some Republican said, let's go. Pussies. You got to bleep that out. Just do poo-why.
Well,
they are. They're spineless. He should be walked out of his mansion and arrested for inciting violence against ICE.
I think a lot of these things, though, and I agree with you that the Republicans are spineless, but I'm thinking even a generation ago, Republicans never thought they were going to have to deal with any of this stuff. Like, this wasn't even on the radar of how do I deal with this kind of stupid behavior.
Because there was a certain level of moral integrity, right?
Well, at least implied, and at least you knew what it was. Obama came in and totally destroyed all this stuff.
He did.
Threw everything out the window by confusing everybody on every possible point.
That was the
whether
plan.
it's racism, whether it's sexism, whether it's anything. He just messed that all up. And then the media glommed onto it, and they're going and going and going. So we've been bombarded by the big lie since 2008, basically.
20 years almost.
And since Obama, you've got these new terms like Islamophobia, homophobia. You got all these phobias, and
That don't exist.
well, remember he said that you couldn't say radical Islam. You couldn't say radical Islam. Well, of course I'm going to say radical. I don't give a crap what you tell me. What I'm going to.
Radicalizing gun owners. Why can't we call those people who are actually doing violence radical?
Radical right. You could say radical right wingers, but you can't say radical Islam.
So it's trying to normalize that behavior, right? That's what that's what the media has intended. And like you say, if you look at normal mainstream media and something happens, they all say exactly the same thing. The people are out here. All I'm picturing is like people sitting in a room with a big screen. They're getting programmed. Bah, 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 bah,
It's like the movie They Live. Remember?
Yes,
Or
exactly.
Roddy Piper?
yeah.
Where he put the glasses on
the
and
glasses-
everything says the same thing. That's exactly what we're living in.
I know. And then you get such corruption now after that because they get away with it. The lefties get away with all this stuff that you have all these Somali daycares popping up and Somali health cares, and they're sucking money from the government.
Did you see what the AG said?
And stupid ass Walls is letting them.
But did you see what the AG of the of Minneapolis said now? Going and harassing them is a hate crime.
Oh, God. I don't know.
You'll be charged with a hate crime if you go to one of the daycares and harass the Somali workers. So these scumbags have more rights than we do.
It's unbelievable. And it's all basically for Democrat votes. This is all, when you boil it all down, they do it because they need to stay in power. And the only way they can stay in, because they can't stay in power on policy. If they were honest to the people and the left wingers weren't so brainwashed, they would see that Democrats are bad news for America.
Well, when they captured the idiot from Venezuela, that list of, what was that list that came out that said people were getting kickbacks? Is that garbage? Is that real?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's a list of senators and congressmen who are
I
getting.
saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
I don't
that.
know.
There was a few Republicans and a whole bunch of Democrats on the list that were getting all
I
kinds
heard
of
about
money.
Money kickback from the narco.
Right.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Okay, so say the list is real. How are you still in Congress? How are you still in the Senate? If you're getting money from a narco terrorist, how are you still working in our government?
A lot of this responsibility falls on the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, and
she ain't doing nothing.
Kash Patel, aren't they? What are they doing? What are they doing with this stuff?
We'll find out. Dan Bongino's out. We saw yesterday. He's
Starting
he's
his
back
podcast
on the
again.
air. Yeah.
But the thing is, if this stuff doesn't get, if we don't see some people be held accountable, what? They're all just going to go free, and then if and when they take power again, can you imagine?
Oh, there'll be a civil war.
They need to be shut.
I don't think it'll go well. I'm sorry, if the Democrats win the presidency in 28, I seriously think there will be a civil war. If they try to do some crazy
what's that
stuff,
look like? What do you mean civil war? What does it look like?
it's going to be civil unrest across the country. Just going to be just like all out, just
Left
gonna be-
versus right?
it's going to be crazy.
Left versus right?
I think so. I think it'll be us against the government. I think the government will get wiped out
Well, the lefties aren't going to side with us.
and just get out of the way.
Okay.
I'm
They can't
telling
get
you,
that- they
I
can't
don't
get that
think
gun insurance.
I
So,
don't think we're going to tolerate another 4 years of a Democrat.
Maybe that's what they're worried about. Maybe states like governors like Kathy Hochul, maybe that's what she's worried about, trying to implement all these gun laws. They just don't want their political opposition to have.
because they know what will happen.
Yeah. Did I miss something? John?
This is what it's hypothetical.
Did I miss something? Oh, okay.
No, it's like hypothetical. We only have how many police officers across America? 100,000, maybe 150.
I forget the number, but
See, they got this concept that they're in charge. No, you're not.
who's they?
Police in power. Anybody in power thinks they have power. You don't. We hold the power. Think about it. If we
that was
say
the idea,
think
yeah.
about it. If we say, just say for hypothetical, we say enough's enough. Do you really think they're going to stop it?
Okay, so there's a problem with that. I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, of course, and that would be a Revolutionary War type thing.
It would be.
But the problem is we are still too comfortable. I think you and I were talking about this. We're still too comfortable where I have money, I have a house, I eat every day, I'm comfortable.
But when they start taking your guns away,
Well,
and they start coming to your
it's
house,
got to
and-
get pretty bad.
Telling you who you can sell your house to.
but you don't think the government, if the Democrat gets in, you don't think they're going to come and get you?
It happens incrementally. That's the problem.
Right.
Because it happens so slow, and
And
they
we're
understand
letting
this.
it.
Well, we are letting it because we're comfortable. And during the times of the Revolutionary War, the people had nothing. They were pretty busted, and they needed to fight to regain theirs because they were really in a bad place.
And that's what they're doing to us.
But we're not in a bad place yet, and I don't know how long it's going to take to put
and
American.
they know it.
Well, the average middle class American citizen is not going to be in a bad place for a long time.
Well, plus they still have places to move to where they can be in a less bad place.
Yeah.
You know, people can move from New York and San Francisco and go places where they can live halfway a normal life. And for a lot of people, if they can spend the next 20 years not worrying about it, they don't want to worry about it. I get that, you know.
But if the government says you cannot have guns anymore in the United States, it doesn't matter where you live, then what are you going to do? What if they say you got 30 days to turn all your guns in and
Well,
we're coming?
I think a lot of people just would defy it.
But
Well, that's what he's saying, though. If they say,
but
you
that's
gotta
what I'm
bring your
saying, though.
guns in,
But
there's only a couple thousand-
then, what are you going to do?
So then what happens?
Just say it happens.
I say no.
And then what? They come to your house
come
and
to
kick
the
your
house.
door and they shoot and kill you. Then
Right.
what? You're dead.
Then you're
Dan's dead.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Democrats are capable of doing that.
Of course they are.
And getting their left-wing crazies on the fence to do it too. I'm telling you.
Of course they are.
They're looking to do something crazy in 2020.
That's what they want to do. They
That's what
want
they
red
want.
flag laws. They want universal background checks. They
Absolutely.
want a door-to-door
and
confiscation.
they'll do anything to do it.
But they'll
use the military to do
the
it.
problem with it all is it happens so slowly. It happens so incrementally.
That's the thing. That's where it starts. So say out west that somebody goes to a farm and tries to get a farmer's and he just resists. Then the next guy starts resisting. That's when
you had these issues. Waco, Texas was an example of that, right? Wasn't Waco the was it the cult or something?
was a cult.
No, I'm not thinking
What
about
was his
something else.
name?
What was the one with the
It was Waco, Texas.
What was the one of the guy on the mountain?
The guy's name. Oh, the guy in the mountain with the, yeah. I
Well, that was just one guy. But yeah, he was
What was it? What was that?
can't think of his name.
he was a bomber though, wasn't he?
Danny, what was that
What was his name?
case where they shot his dog, they shot his wife? Oh my God, why can't I?
He was a bearded guy.
Well, there you go.
What the hell was his name? He's a crazy dude. Yeah, I remember him going up in the mountains
Yeah.
and them going to follow him.
Well, who was the guy? Wasn't there another guy where they tried to take his land
It was a
from him or
short.
something?
It was a short barreled rifle, and they were coming for it. And they invaded his property. Danny, you getting this? And they were trying to confiscate his guns. The FBI or the ATF, and he fought back, and he killed. They killed his son. I think they killed his son or his daughter. Right. And
They put them in front.
and then the Waco guys, they burnt their own building down, right?
What the hell was his name? But I think that's our government. I think they could do it. I think they would try to do it. That's all they talk about is taking your guns away. But they just don't have the power right now to do it.
Well, and it's funny you talk about history. Somebody was just saying something. Oh, Trump is this. And you got to look through history and make sure he's doing the same things all these other people were doing. I go, so the fact that the left wants to take your guns away follows what pattern? Like
Then
every
never-
pattern there was that ever led to the people being ruled by a tyrannical government.
Exactly. That's what Hitler did. He took everybody's weapons away.
Absolutely.
But that's what the leftists want. They want to be run by their government. And then when the government comes and, smacks them around and tells them they can only have some bread and water, then what?
I guess they figure that the government's
once that
always going to
happens,
be
you're
on
done.
their side. That's what
Well,
they
that's
figure.
not-
You know what I mean?
if
Which
they-
is naive and
If
stupid.
they believe that, they're the dumbest people on the planet.
exactly.
The government don't care about anybody. We've learned this.
That was the whole point, is that government is not designed to take care of the people. That's not what they were supposed to be. They're supposed to protect the people from external threats, right? And let them
They're
hopefully-
supposed to work for us, but they don't. I
Stuff
think
with
they've
that.
worked for us since when?
Ruby Ridge.
Ruby Ridge.
Ruby Ridge.
Why couldn't I think of that? So Ruby Ridge was the seat of a cabin occupied by the Weaver family in Boundary County, Idaho, August 1992. Deputies from the U.S. Marshal came to arrest Randy Weaver under a bench warrant for his failure to appear on federal firearms charges. Charges stemmed from Weaver's sale of a sawed-off shotgun.
One gun.
During the surveillance operation, officers shot Weaver's dog. I had a feeling they shot the dog. I didn't know all the details.
How
of
the
this.
dog do?
Yeah.
He didn't even have a gun.
In the exchange of fire, Weaver's friend Kevin Harris shot and killed Deputy Marshall. Weaver's the hostage rescue team of the FBI became involved. Standoff, FBI sniper shot Weaver, then shot Harris. Second shot hit and killed Weaver's wife. I knew that happened. This is just like one of those things that we were kind of talking about.
Over a shotgun.
Over a sawed-off shotgun. Sounds like. Okay. Kill a family and a dog over this?
That's the case.
Bring in the full force of government?
That's who we're dealing with. That's our government.
So
that's scary.
So he is an example of a guy who stood up. He said no. And he fought back. And that's
unfortunately he died.
Say it again. What do you mean by that? Are you on? Okay. Danny says it's an organization problem. How do you mean, Danny? Why don't you get on mic? Okay. So you're saying they're semi-organized
because they have the military,
but we aren't. That's a good point. Okay, so Danny's saying that because the government's organized, they have a better, more leverage, or whatever, and we're not. And that's exactly a good point, Danny. Thank you. And I don't know. This is why we still have militia groups.
Right? That's why you need a well-organized militia.
Well, we do. We have militia
They're
groups.
out there.
They don't make much noise, but I've met some of the militia groups, and I know they're capable. The question is, when is the right time, and when would that happen? Is there going to be a revolutionary war again?
You'll hear about it, because if they decide to say enough's enough, then you're going to hear. I mean, there's more than one militia group. There's tons of them.
No, I think every state pretty much has a
right, but they don't say anything.
Right,
they don't blurt out that we're a militia. They're quiet.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that you got to worry about.
Yeah.
Because once that happens, then you're going to have to fall in line.
Right. If
you know what I'm saying?
The fighting breaks out, you got to choose a side.
You got to choose a side.
Well, and what's happening with the leftists, the radical leftists now, what they're doing is they're going out and they're attacking the law enforcement, attacking ICE, or attacking police, anybody involved in getting rid of illegal immigrants.
And we're letting them.
So, right. So, like, are they actually starting a civil war? The left, the political left?
I think that's what the government wants. The Democrats want. What they're going to get is martial law,
right?
And that they do not want.
Well,
because the military
that would work against us too.
Military is not going to shoot rubber bullets. They're not. They're going to shoot to kill you. Yeah. That's the problem. There's a difference.
We didn't even get to everything on the show today.
Whatever. It's your fault.
But thank you. Thank you for watching us on Rumble, YouTube, and all our podcast platforms. You can also check us out on our new network called Spreely, Spreely.com. And Second Amendment is not a privilege. It's your right.